Hello everyone, you're welcome back to my channel. My name is Yinka. It's good to have you all back. We are going to be making this gown today, and here are the measurements I will be using for the tutorial. So let's get started. So at first I'm going to be folding my fabric into two. Then after that I'm going to measure 1 inch downward. Then I will roll the line. That's going to be my starting point. It's going to be my guideline. Then after that I'm going to be measuring ½ inch from the front this way, and I'm going to also roll it. The reason for this is because the front is going to add a button placket. So if you notice, the center front is not on fold. The front is not on fold. So the next I'm going to do now is to measure my armhole length. I'm using 9 for my armhole length. Then after that I'll measure my underbust length, which is 14. Then with ½ inch seam allowance. Then after that I will extend the lines. And note, all my measurements is going to be starting from this line. And as you can see, the center front is open, it's not on fold. Though I'm going to be using this later on to cut out the back, but right now I'm working with the front. So my shoulder measurement is 16 divided by 2, that is 8 inches. So I measure this 8 inches on the guideline, and I also measure it on the chest line so that my armhole can be straight. After that I rolled it. So from the line again, I measure 3 inches inward. That is 3 inches for the neck width. Then after that, I go down by 1 inch. Then I slant the shoulder like this. Then I added ½ inch for the shoulder seam allowance. Then after that, from the 1 inch that I go down on the shoulder, I locate the midpoint of the armhole. Then I come in by ½ inch. Then I connect it this way. Then from the midpoint, I get my front armhole cuff. So because I'm still going to be using this to cut out the back later on, I place my French cuff again. From the midpoint, I get the back armhole cuff this way. So on my chest line, I input, as you can see, my measurement is starting from the line. I input my bust measurement divided by 4 plus ½ inch ease and 1 inch seam allowance. On the bust line, I input my waist measurement. My waist measurement is 32 divided by 4, that is 8, with ½ inch ease and then 1 inch seam allowance. Then I connect together this way. Then after that I measure the neck width. I'm using 3.5 for my neck width, so I measure 3.5 starting from the center front line. Then I measure the back neck depth, which is 1.5. Then I connect it this way. This is the back neckline, and then after that I measure the depth of the front neckline, which is 3.5. Then I connect it this way. Then after that I cut it out. Note, we're going to be cutting on the back armhole first and also back neckline so that we can use this to trace out the back. Then after that we're going to be reshaping the front armhole and also the front neckline. All right, so I'm cutting on the back neckline first, as you can see. Then after that I'll cut the shoulder. Then I'm going to be cutting on the back armhole first. So I'm cutting on the back armhole right now. Then I'll cut the side seam. Alright, so I'm done cutting. I'm going to be using this now to cut out the back. So I'll place another fabric on fold. This way, this fabric is folded into two, as you can see. then the center back is going to be on fold. This is the center back and it's going to be on fold like this. All right, so I'm going to place the one we cut earlier on top of it this way. Then I'll fold that ½ inch in center front. I'll fold it inward this way. I'm going to fold it away. This ½ inch is seam allowance for the bottom placket, so I folded it away like this. So I'll mash the center together with the center back like this. You can see I'll mash them together this way. Then after that, I'll just cut it out. And that's all. So this is the back. You can label it if you want. Alright, so if you open it up, this is how the back looks, and you can see it's on fold at the center back. Alright, so I'll keep the back aside. Then I'm going to be cutting the front neckline and also the front armhole. So I open up my ½ inch seam allowance in front again. Then I cut out the front neckline and also the front armhole. So this is it. The front is ready, and if you open it, you will have two pieces for the front. We have two pieces for the front. So what I'll do next is to notch my ½ inch seam allowance in center front. So we are going to be cutting the down part now. So for the down part, you are going to minus your underbust length from your total length. My underbust length is 14 minus my total length of 42. That will give me 28 inches. So, and you know the down part is divided into 3 tiers. So 28 divided by 3 is going to give me 9.3. Then I'm going to add my seam allowance of 0.5 inch to the 9.3, which is going to give me 9.8, which I'm going to just round up to 10 so that it can be easy for me to cut out. So I'm going to be explaining to you now how you are going to be cutting that out. So the length of each of the layer is going to be 10 inches, except for the last one, which we are going to be adding 1 inch to it to make it 11 because of the hemming allowance of the lower part. All right, so the first layer is going to be your waist circumference measurement plus half of the waist circumference measurement. So my waist circumference measurement is 32 and half of 32 is 16. So 32 plus 16 is going to be 48. So how long this first layer is now is 48. You can see I fold it into 2. If you open it up, it's 48. All right, so we are going to be moving on to the second layer. So the second layer is going to be the width of the first layer plus half of the first layer. So the first layer, like I said earlier, is 48. Half of 48 is 24. So 48 plus 24 is going to give me 72 inches. So the second layer is 72 inches. Hope it's clear. If you have any question, you can always leave it in the comment section. I'll be glad to answer you. All right, so we are going to be moving on to the third layer. The third layer is going to be the width of the second layer plus half of the second layer. So the second layer is 72 inches. Half of 72 is 36. 36 plus 72 is going to give me 108. So the third layer is 108 in width. So basically the three layers are proportional to each other. So moving on, because this is going to be having a side pocket. If you are not going to be having a side pocket, it's perfectly okay like this. You just need to go ahead and continue to join them together. But since this is going to be having a side pocket, you're going to be dividing the strips into 2, just the way I'm showing you. Each of the layer, you're going to be dividing the long strip into 2 so that you can have a side seam to attach your pocket. All right, so I've divided the long strips into 2 so that we'll have one for the back and then the other for the front. So you do each of the layers like that. Then again, since the front is going to be having a button placket, since it's going to be having an opening in front. So you now take the one that is for the front. You are now going to divide that into two again. So you have to take one and then fold it into two equal half the way I'm showing you. Then you divide it into two this way. So you divide it into two. Okay. So you're going to be joining the sides together and the front will also be opened because of the bottom placket. So you're going to repeat this step for the 3 layers. So after that, I went ahead and fold my fabric into 4. Then I cut out my pocket. I believe by now we all know how to cut out pockets. So you're just going to place your palm on the fabric and then you trace the shape of your palm, and ensuring you have at least 7 inches on the opening. Then you're going to cut that out. After that, the next thing to cut out is the bottom placket. So you're going to be cutting a strip of fabric that measured 3 inches, and the length is going to be your gown length. And you're going to be cutting 2 of it because you're going to be having one on the left and then one on the right. Alright, so I've cut out the strip, and as you can see, the width is 3 inches while the length is my gown length. And I cut out 2. The next thing I'm going to be doing to the placket is to fuse it with my stay. So I've cut out stay that is ½ inch shorter than the width. The length is the same thing, so I'll just place it on it, and then I'm going to use my pressing iron to gum that with the fabric. So I'm going to be preparing the placket this way. First, I'll fold ½ inch inward, and then I'll press it down all the way down. Then after that, I'll fold 1 inch this way. You fold 1 inch. Then you also press that down. So basically you'll be left with ½ inch at this outer edge, and this ½ inch is going to be your seam allowance that you're going to be using to attach this bottom placket to the main body of the dress. Alright, so you're going to repeat the same thing to the second placket. Alright, so in summary, this is the total cutout. We have the layers at the bottom part. This is the back. Then we have 2 pieces for the front. And also we have 4 pieces for the pocket, 2 on each side. Then we have our bottom placket. And we have 2 of that. Right, so I just went ahead off camera and then I cut out my sleeve. Please kindly subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Thanks. Alright, so we're going to be sewing our gown now. And this is the front of the upper bodice. And we have 2 of that. So what I'll do is I'm going to take the first layer of the down part. I'll take the first layer of the down part, and you know we have 2 for the front because we already divide it into 2. Alright, so this is the first layer for the down part. We have 2 for the front, and then we have 1 for the back. So I'll take the back aside and then I'll work with the front pieces. All right, so what you're going to do is to gather this down part to match with the upper bodice like this. So first you chain the dial on your sewing machine to the longest stitch, and then you're going to run a gathered stitch. Then after that, you pull the gather so that this piece here can match up with the corresponding upper bodice. All right, so this is how you're going to do it. So you just adjust your gather so that this first layer can match up with the down part of the upper bodice this way. And you are going to repeat the same thing for the second side. All right, so the next thing you will do now is to join these two pieces together. So match the right side together, and then you're going to run your stitch. You're going to join with 1/2 inch seam allowance. When you're done with one, you repeat the same thing to the second one. All right, so I've joined them together, and this is how it's looking. So we are going to move on, and we are going to grab the second layer. All right, so this is the second layer, and we have two pieces for the front. So you take the two pieces that belongs to the front and you keep the back aside, and then you're going to be repeating the same process that you had earlier, and you're going to be gathering it, and after that you pull the gather, and after that you attach it to the upper part. All right, so this is the upper part, and this is the second layer all gathered. So you're going to mash it, ensuring your gather mash up with down parts like this, and then you mash right side to right side, and you're going to join it together with 1/2 inch seam allowance. Okay, so we are done with the second layer, and this is how it's looking. So the next thing is to grab the third layer. First, you are going to be hemming the bottom part of the third layer. After that, you run your gathered stitch, and then you pull your gather as usual, and then we are going to be attaching it to the upper part. So you adjust your gather the way we have been doing. Let it match up with the bottom part, and then you mash it together right side to right side, and then you are going to join together with 1/2 inch seam allowance, and you do the same thing to the second side, and that's it. The front is ready. So you're going to repeat this same step to the back. So the back is having 3 steps. So run your gather stitch, and then pull your gathers, and after that we are going to be attaching it to the upper part this way. So this is the back part, and you match the first layer right side to right side, and you're going to join together with 1/2 inch seam allowance. You take the second layer, you join again with 1/2 inch seam allowance, and then you take the third layer and you're going to join it with 1/2 inch seam allowance. And don't forget to hem the bottom part of the third layer also. And this is it, the back is ready. All right, so the next thing is to notch the position of the pocket. So I folded the side seam of my dress like this. So I folded them together. I folded back into 4 the way it is. You can see all folded together like this, and this is my side seam. This is my side seam. So what I'm going to do is to measure 18 inches downward from the shoulder. So that is going to be the position for my pocket. Is 1 inch below my waistline, 1 inch below my waistline like this, and then I'm going to notch. So after that, I'm going to be attaching the pockets to the 4 sides of the dress. All right, so I'm done with the pocket. So the next thing is to attach the bottom placket to the front. So I'll take the two front piece, and also this is the two plackets. You can see the two of them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one placket, and I'll also take one front piece like this. So I'm going to turn the front piece to the wrong side. So this is the wrong side. The wrong side will be facing up, and then you are going to match the right side of the bottom placket with the wrong side of the dress, and you are going to be leaving 1 inch above the neckline like this, and then you are going to stitch together with ½ inch seam allowance, and you're going to stitch it all the way down. So when you get to the bottom part, you leave ½ inch, and then you fold that ½ inch upward this way. You fold the ½ inch upward this way, then you're going to turn the fabric to the right side, and then you top stitch the bottom placket on the dress. And when you're done, you trim off that 1 inch so that you can follow the curve of the neckline. You can see how flawless it is. All right. So after that, you repeat the same thing to the second side. So the next thing you're going to be doing now is to join the shoulders together. So you match the right side of the back with the right side of the front, and you join together on the shoulder with ½ inch seam allowance. Then after that, you attach your sleeves. And after attaching your sleeve, you're going to be closing the side with 1 inch seam allowance. So by the time you're done closing the side, your dress is ready. So the next thing you want to do after closing the side is to mark the position for the buttonhole. So I'll first put the first one on the collar, then after that I'll measure 3 inches downward, and afterwards I'm going to be measuring the 3 inches at interval all the way down, and that's going to be the position of my buttonhole. And after that I'll make my buttonhole, and that's it. The dress is ready. I'm going to wear it now, and I'll show you how it looks on me. Then in the next tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how you can cut the collar, how you can make a mandarin collar that fits perfectly well. So stay tuned. All right, so this is the dress. I love it. It's so beautiful, and I like the way it looks on me. And please, if you have not subscribed to this channel yet, please kindly subscribe, and don't forget to give me thumbs up. Wow, I want to appreciate each and every one of you. The love on my previous tutorial was so amazing. Wow, I really appreciate everybody. Thank you. Please kindly leave a comment for me in the comment section, and also give this video a thumbs up. I'll see you in my next tutorial. Bye. God bless you.